just one piece of the pie. When you look at a pizza pie, you look at your life, we want love, we want peace, we want happiness, we want abundance, we want the people that know us best to actually like us, right?
That's real, yeah.
Where you find out, like, these people that you're in awe over, and then you really get to know them. Like, I don't even really like you. Sell clothes, right? But it was still giving me those practices. Like, I was still practicing the principles.
You have the foundation.
But then when I found network marketing, that's when I was like, oh, this is mine. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And have gangbangers, they will still make money. Money does not discriminate. If you practice the principles, you can participate in the promise. So no matter what.
Know he a genius, he just can't claim it. Cause they left him no platforms to explain it. He frustrated, so he get faded. But deep down inside, he know you can't.
It's your boy Ace Billions here with the Billionaire Mafia podcast, where we shine a light on entrepreneurs that are impacting the world. Today, I got a special guest with me, a very influential person in the community, impactful person when it comes to entrepreneurship, and this guy has a heart of gold. My guy, Daryl Drake.
Yeah.
Sir, appreciate you coming on today, man.
Man, all love.
So my first question, man, we both from the town, so come from the same place, got it out the dirt, so I know you got it out the dirt.
Yeah.
What inspired you to take on entrepreneurship? Coming from where we come from, it's like, like we see a whole different like outcome for people. Yeah. What made you decide like I'm gonna take this business stuff serious?
That reason, right? Yeah. Like coming from where we come from, I mean, that in itself was enough inspiration. I mean, for me, it was like, if not that, then end up gangbanging, end up selling drugs, doing something like that. And so for me, I was most talented in track and field. And then when I started playing the numbers out, I'm like, well, even if I make it to the Olympics, it's not going to afford me the type of lifestyle that I really want to live,
100%.
Right? And so, and then also, like, naturally, business was something that I was always attracted to. I mean, starting at my mom's store, she owned a store over on the west side of San Bernardino, and, like, just starting there and just understanding, like, buying inventory for $10 and selling it for $25, right? Dealing with customers, right? Opening and closing. And so that kind of trained me early on, right? And then I think for me too, like just that natural interest in it. Whereas sometimes people want to do business because they're so frustrated with their 9 to 5, and then every day is like a challenge for them to get up and do what they need to do. Whereas for me, it was almost the polar opposite, where it was like, it was a game for me. So even when I was losing, I was still playing the game because it was just a game for me. And then I realized that, man, I'm winning at this game, right? And my wins coming from where we from, I'm not even talking about the millions I'm talking about like, man, I made $100 today. Like, man, I met somebody that I never would have met because I traveled from San Bernardino to an area in LA or another state, a meetup, entrepreneur event or anything like that. I think for me, like that was the first time that I really was exposed to things outside of the city, right? Like I didn't really get exposed to anything outside of what was in the city until maybe 18.
Got you.
Maybe 17,
so
18.
You was in the trenches for a minute then.
Yeah, like I mean, I would have different like experiences, but nothing really where it was like. Actually, I did. I went to an event. My uncle actually took me to an event, and that was actually my first introduction to network marketing. Okay. And I didn't know what it was at the time, but basically it was like network marketing for like realtors. I don't even know if it's still around, but I knew nothing about the product actually, but I love the culture. Gotcha. I love the culture that was there, and it was like young guys, and one guy had like a Range Rover, and it was a new one, and he made sure that I knew it was a new one, and I'm like, man, like whatever y'all selling, like this is like y'all making legit money. Remember, I'm a young man asking this question because I don't really know, you know what I mean? Right. So I'm like, is this like legit? Is this really happening? I go in the house and it's like Ace of Spade bottles for everybody. Like, wow,
so you have to just get put in that environment and see something different. And,
you got to.
And that attracted you in a way.
You got to. I think environment is key, man. I think that you'd be hard pressed to find anyone that that stays the same and then things change for them.
Right.
I think environments shape aspiration, and then your aspiration is your motivation, and then what you do with that motivation, right? If you decide to be productive or just let it die off, but once you decide to be productive, that productivity then leads to results. But it's like it all starts with environment, right? And then from environment, the inspiration, from the inspiration, you start to take action. When you start taking action, then the results come.
Gotcha.
And it kind of happens in that order. And yeah, man. So I will preach that until my last breath, because environment is what changed everything for me.
Got you.
Just that simple decision to say, you know what? I don't know where I'm going, but I know where I'm not staying. And I need to get in the environments of where people are that I want to be. And even if I'm just a fly on the wall, I'm there.
Right.
And maybe some of their good luck will rub off on me. And it just happened that way, man. So
So like being snatched into or being put into a different environment, like a lot of people get to see different things and get to experience different things in their life. But what caught your attention? Like, this is what I want. This is where I want to go with my life, and I'm not just gonna settle for less in a way.
What caught my attention?
Yeah, what caught your attention?
Because it was two parts, right? It was like, I like business, but then what am I gonna do? So then it was like, I was selling candy, and then I was going door to door, and then it was like, helping my mom at her clothing store. But I just liked the business, but that wasn't my thing.
So you kind of had a taste of business growing up, like with your mom and
Right.
seeing that. And so would you say like it was genetically in you? Did you kind of like fall into business, or like you just seen your mom kind of building up those businesses, and that was like, this is what I want to do, and this is where we come from. in a way?
Yeah, I think that is our job. Like as we have kids, is that we create a platform to where you want them to take it further than what you took it.
Right.
And I think that as I look over my life and look at the roles that everyone's played in my life, and specifically my mom, I think that her role was to take it as far as she took it, but to open up my mind, right, to expose me to that, and then I'm like, okay, I can take it way further. And so, like, again, but it starts with exposure.
Right.
But I think that was me doing her thing. Like, I don't want to sell clothes, right? But it was still giving me those practices. Like, I was still practicing the principles.
You got the foundation.
But then when I found network marketing, that's when I was like, oh, this is mine. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And did that for 10 years.
Okay, question. So a lot of people get into the network marketing and fail miserably.
Yeah, on their face, for sure.
I want to know what separated you between all the millions of people that hop into the game and they try it and they don't succeed. Like, what was your key to success when it came to network marketing?
Yeah, I never treated it like a hobby.
Right.
Yeah, I think network marketing is presented to people as a side thing. Network marketing was never a side thing for me. It was the thing.
The business.
And I treated it as such, right? And I think that most people that fail at network marketing are probably people that will fail at almost most things that they do, right? And I think that people that succeed in network marketing, they succeed at it because they really want it, right? Which is my case. Or they have this innate ability to just win at what they do because they understand and they practice the principles of success. Right. So success is a science. You can take a person that can build one business, he gets that business sold or whatever, and he goes and he does it again, and then he does it again, right? Because it's a science. And I think that in network marketing, a lot of people, going back to your question, a lot of people in network marketing just try it. Let me just pay my couple $100. Maybe my upline will save my life. Maybe I get enough people in my downline to take me to the top. Right. But no, I really built and I really gave network marketing 100% of my effort.
So talk to me more about that. Like, what's the science to success?
In general?
In general. Like for any entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur in the audience watching this, what would be the science to success? Because I know generally business has these these foundations,
Yeah.
these principles like
Yeah.
marketing, sales. You got to have a passion for what you're doing. You have to be able to find your target market
Yeah.
and attract that client and actually have the motivation to continue to keep on going. What would you say like was your science for entrepreneurship and running your business?
Yeah. My science for success was environment, right? My self-talk. I was very cognizant of what I allowed to be spoken into my life and what I spoke about my life. So I'm a big believer in our words create our worlds. And so, once I had my environment in control as much as I could, then I would speak life over my situation. I mean, I was living in a studio apartment, but I was speaking life. One day I'm gonna live in a multi-million-dollar house. One day I'm gonna drive this car. One day I'm gonna travel. So I would speak life to what I wanted and not just what my current reality was.
That's big, yeah.
And then from there, the work ethic, right? It's network marketing. So a lot of people forget the work. So for me, it was like get to it. And then I grew up in network marketing in a phase where it wasn't just about like you only got recognition for doing the work. Whereas now with the internet, you could look like you do the work. Because most people are not who they post to be, right? And so what I realized was like, okay, when I first started coming up, my first 5 years of network marketing, the recognition came from when you were doing the work. Now you can just associate with the right people. You can do some of the work, post about it, and then you look bigger than really what you are. And so really, really falling in love with the process. I think one of the key things, one of the contributing factors to success, if it's an ingredients, one of the ingredients is going to be showing up and falling in love with the process. Right? Don't look at the scoreboard. Don't look at you from to the left. Don't look to the right. Fall in love with the process. Learn inside of that process. And when you look up, the results have to follow. And then lastly, which I didn't learn this until a little bit later, but I always when I say this, I'm kind of still like partial, depending on the day. But I believe that you can have balance in business. You catch me on another day, I may say you can't, right?
Breaking the myths.
But right, but I'm hoping for a world, right, where there can be both, where you can be at peace and you can be happy and you can build a successful business and you can have thriving people around you and you don't have to compromise. And I think it's this thing right now where we feel like, oh, it's no sleep. I'm up at 4 a.m. I ain't going to bed till 12 and fly with me or get flown over. This very ego-driven mentality to win in business. In actuality, to really win in business, not just financially, to really win in business, it is the exact opposite of thriving out of ego. It is actually leading in passion and leading in love and leading in compassion. And I think that we become, I think that business is so much thrived or driven by currency to where we have to become this shark type person to win in business. Or the examples that we see of people winning in business are very sharkish to where we think that's how we have to be.
Right.
And money is colorblind. This is why you can have drug dealers, you could have mass murderers, you could have gangbangers. They will still make money. Money does not discriminate. If you practice the principles, you can participate in the promise. So no matter what, right? No matter what, you can win at money. Right? But is that really what we're going for? Because money is a horrible measuring stick. It's a great servant. Money is a great servant, but it's a horrible measuring stick.
Talk more about that.
Well, I believe that people, especially now, I think that people believe that they are defined by how much money they make. And so because I make money, I'm a great person. Because I make money, you should follow me. But it's like, why? Think about it. It's just one piece of the pie. When you look at a pizza pie, you look at your life. We want love. We want peace. We want happiness. We want abundance. We want the people that know us best to actually like us, right?
That's real, yeah.
Where you find out, like, these people that you're in awe over, and then you really get to know them. Like, I don't even really like you, right? So to really win in life is to have people that actually know you, and they're really inspired by you. They really like you and love you, right? It's easy for me to post a video online and have hundreds of people telling me how much they love me. You don't really know me. You got the edited clip. But to be in person and be like, oh no, I like Drake. I like the way he rocks. And I think in business, that part is most important. That the person in private gets as close as possible to the person in public. And right now it's this big disconnect. Yeah. People create this online thing, and then there's something different behind
There's
the
people
scenes.
that's just lacking in engagement in real life, and social media is like the only engagement they're doing. So tell me what you think about social media as a whole, like even just being an influencer or doing business on social media, because right now I feel like it's a huge block between like really connecting with your people, like even like musicians, artists, entrepreneurs. They're hiding behind social media and not really giving that attention to the people that are actually around them, people that are in their community. Yeah. And how do you feel about social media in that aspect, like building your success on social media in a way?
Yeah, I mean,
cause you popping right now on social media. So.
I think people will follow you for your confidence.
Right.
People will follow you for your confidence, but they'll be loyal to you for your vulnerability. And I think that people confuse followers with people that are actually loyal to them.
Right.
And I think that, which I'm proud of social media because I think it's making a change, right? And I think it's shifting to where before it was about the things, and the people that had the things were winning. And now the shift is who are you? Right. And I like you because I'm learning about you. You're talking and I get it. Right. This is why you have an Instagram model with 1 million followers that can't sell shit.
Right.
Why? Because I'm not loyal to you. I don't like it. I just like what I see, but I don't really know you. Right. So I think we're in this new phase in social media where authenticity is going to win. The truth is going to win. In every facet. So your wins, your losses, your trauma, your like everything. And if you're willing to put that on Front Street, then I think you will be one of the biggest things on the internet. And this is why you see some of the bigger people on the internet are the ones that are just fully, unapologetically vulnerable. Right. And you have to be willing to do that because that opens you up to a lot of toxic energy too, right? You know, when you're just telling everybody your entire life, well, you can't think that every viewer is gonna, right? So you have to be willing to
have that double-edged sword right there.
Yeah, and I'm naturally a private person. I'm very much on a need to know basis. Like if it's not important for you to know, if it's just for you to be nosy, you probably won't know, right? But
so you give them a little bit, but don't give them everything.
Yeah, because they don't need to know everything. Right. I'm not going to give you enough of anything. You ever heard the saying, you never want to meet your idols? And I think in social media allows you to meet your idols now. Well, the idea that they give to you, right? And I think that the danger of familiarity is real. And what that basically means is that you can be Jay-Z. And if I'm spending enough time with you or too much time with you, and now we 12 months in, 24 months in, and I'm losing my awe.
Right,
You're losing the awe factor. And now you can no longer be that person that you were to me, even if it's not on a personal level. Now you don't represent what you once represented because I'm I've lost respect for you. I'm not disrespecting you, but I've lost respect because you know me too much.
Right.
And I think that was one of the biggest mistakes that I made in my career, is that because I'm so down to earth and I allowed so many people to be around me, that it wasn't about me. It did them a disservice because I allowed them to get close to me, which then lessened their respect for me, and they missed out on the lesson that they could have got because they got too familiar with me.
Wow.
Right? So it's like, don't get it twisted. Like, I'm here in real life. So just because we're kicking it doesn't mean that you miss out on what's for you because you want to be homies.
Right.
And I think that that's like the biggest thing, right? And I think that it's a double-edged sword, though. I think that it is important to have that high. It's important to be high touch and high tech, right? So the social media creates that balance where it's like, yes, be high tech, be on all of the social platforms, but also, again, going back to that level of vulnerability, let the people you care about and the people that care about you, take them along with you on that journey. And I think it's okay to do that.
And I think it's a balance, and people taking it to where social media is not a tool anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's, if in business, if you don't use it as a tool, you become one of those people that's a zombie, addicted to scrolling and documenting your life, where there's no, like you said, there's models on social media that can't make an impact.
Yeah.
So if you use it for a tool to impact and to convert, then I feel like that's where you actually get the blessings that come with social media, and be able to actually leverage it as a tool instead of it being a part of your whole life and consuming your whole life. And so saying that, like, how did you build up your influence? Because I know you be on stages talking and like getting to travel around the world, being able to speak to people. I know you're in a lot into philanthropy. Like, what's your biggest like goal with that? Like, what, I know you want to influence a lot of people, but where are you at with that in your life right now?
I don't focus on influencing people. My focus is on operating as close to my purpose as possible.
Right.
I think the byproduct is people get inspired. But I don't wake up like, how can I inspire you today? I want to inspire myself, right? I want to get up and do what be the best version of myself. And what has happened, I mean, I've been very lucky in that way, to where, my inspiration to do better for myself has led to people being inspired. But that was never the goal, to be an inspiration. I mean, from San Bernardino, I just want to be inspired enough to get them out of there, right? Exactly. And I think that it just happened organically. But yeah.
Do you have any mentors that you talk to now that influence you or inspire you?
I'm in a very unique space right now where most of the time when I'm asked that question, for a long time I had the answer of like yes. Yeah. Right now I'm in this new space of recreating who I am, and in that is creating a new environment for myself, letting go of past relationships. Still healthy, right? Some of them toxic as shit. But just, you have to realize when a relationship has taken you as far as it was supposed to take you, right? So if our relationship was for us to just impact, X amount of people and make X amount of money, and our vision can't take us further than where we are right now, then we call it quits, right? We could still be homies, but let's create another environment. And I think that's where I'm at now. I'm always inspired by different books that I read. Right now, I've been really heavy on the series of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I know a lot of people know about the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the original book of it, but it's a series of them. I mean, it's a lot of them. So I think I've went through about 6 of them so far. Okay. As I'm making a pivot into real estate and really understanding that I'm very new into it, but really understanding the inner workings of that, and and finding some new friends in that space, finding some new mentors in that space. That wasn't my focus before because I wasn't in real estate. So all of my relationships have been in network marketing. So if we were talking about network marketing, I can talk about tons of mentors and tons of people that inspired me. But I'm in this new the recreation of myself. And so I feel like I'm back in the studio apartment.
I like it.
I'm recreating, right?
What's that transition like?
It's quiet. Yeah, it's different. I live a very loud life. And so now things being more quiet and it's really like that 08, 09 in the basement. Like that's what it's like right now.
Yeah, like Dr. Dre back in the day. In
yeah,
the studio,
like-
like just creating.
I'm back creating. Like I dropped the album. Like Hov, it's like he can be. You can have met him in a point in his life where it's like, okay, I love just his music.
Yeah.
If you follow him a little bit longer, then you can talk about his philanthropy. And you met him a little bit longer. You follow him a little bit longer, and you can talk about his business acumen, right? And so like for me, I'm not trying, like, I don't want to be boxed in. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I created something great. I gave people 10 years of content of rocking out stages, inspiring you. I built companies. I sold stuff. I helped people change their life. That was the first version of me.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So
right?
what's this new version look like?
Now the new version is I think I'm in my whole bag this season. Yeah.
Try to take over.
Yeah, I'm really in a like a blacked out phase where like all day learning on the phone, meeting new people, networking. But really I'm in the phase of like being a student. I spend a lot of time just learning.
What's your favorite book? You said Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yeah, I mean that's where I'm at, but I'm more of a podcast. Like I'm more of like buying, or I wouldn't say buying, but paying for people's time. I think it's become very washed right now with these courses and consultations. Like everyone's a guru. They do something one time. And now it's like, no. So for me, I'd rather just pay for somebody's time, like really pay for your time and have you to teach me exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
Do you have any mentors like that now?
Yeah. In the real estate space, I do. I'm paying for them right now, right? They say that the mentee never chooses the mentor chooses the mentee. And because I'm in a phase of paying for that relationship, I'm choosing the mentor. But I think that as I continue to excel and do my 1-2 step in this industry, I think that the right people will notice it, and the mentor will choose me, and then it's gonna be up from there. So right now, I'm just perfecting being a student again. Right. When you've built something or you've been somewhere before, you know the process, and it becomes so much more clear. See, people fear things because they don't know what's on the other side, right? When we talk about like entrepreneurship, why is it that most people fail at entrepreneurship? Is because they don't have vision. They have sight but no vision. And it's hard because it's really like going up the stairs blindfolded because you really don't know what it's supposed to be like. You have not educated your expectations. But it gets easier once you win because now you knew if you really have won on your own merits, now you know what the process is like. So I know what it's supposed to feel like and be like emotionally, physically, financially to build a company. So I know what phase I'm in right now. So even though I'm in a phase of like, man, this isn't this isn't championship season, right?
Yeah.
But
You got to go through the pregame,
but
the pre-games, and
I'm in the gym.
play. Yeah, exactly.
I'm working out because I know on the other side of this, when it's game time, when we in the playoffs, I'm ready. And so I'm just in that phase right now in my life.
Yeah, building up, putting your armor on, getting ready. If you like what you're watching, hit the subscribe button, comment, and like to help us with engagement. I like it. So that phase right now, the transition, what's your biggest obstacle that you're facing right now besides like cutting people off and that quiet time that you not used to, but are enjoying? What would be that obstacle that you're facing within this process that of rebuilding and recreating yourself?
It's very humbling.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard because to make a decision to not do what you know you can do and still win at, but say, I'm done with that, to go and then be crazy enough to rebuild in another space
Yeah.
that you know nothing about.
Trust me.
It's
I'm in the
crazy.
same zone right now.
Right?
Coming from the fitness and like selling the business, and I have the lounges,
Yeah,
and everything. Like that transitional period to real estate and investing and consulting with different people, like, and even
Scary.
this podcast,
Yeah.
like you don't know what to expect when you hopping out what you used to, and that transitional period, like you said, the toxic people start to fall off. It's like weeds that you probably should have been getting rid of in the first place, but you didn't see it because you was in the zone. So tell me,
Yeah.
like, what was the hardest part about getting rid of the people that were in your life that was kind of toxic? How did you even see, like, and what gave you the courage to just be like, look, it's time to go?
Yeah.
Because most people don't know how to let go. They hold on to
I think
something till it
the
kill 'em.
toughest part in that is that you create bonds with
Right.
these people, right? It only hurts because it was good
Right.
at one point in time, right? So I think the toughest part there is really just the emotional side of it. The physical is just don't call me no more. Right. But the emotional side of it, because with that, then you have the experiences, you have the emotions of it, you have all the memories, right?
And the time.
Yeah, but man, listen, we have one life to live, right? And anybody that's not in alignment with where you're trying to go does not deserve to have VIP access to you. I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, your sister, it doesn't matter, right? Like I'll cut anybody off if they're not in alignment. Like
Right.
no, dead ass. And I think that level of insanity is what makes people successful.
Yeah.
I don't get caught up too much into. I try not to stay in my emotions. It's kind of hard to not get in them, but don't stay in them.
Right.
And I think for me, I try to do a really good job at keeping the main thing the main thing.
Do you have any outlets for that process, like not standing your emotions, like anything to help you get your mind off of it? I know you get into the reading, but like anything that can help the people get out of that rut that they in when it comes to either letting something go or like losing people.
I dream. Man, I am a dreamer. Like I'll sit on real estate sites looking at houses I can't afford.
Keeping your mind going.
Right. I go to car lots, test driving cars. I go look at, like, I try to keep my mind on the thing that matters.
Right.
So to answer your question, when I'm going through I call it a purging season.
I like that.
Right.
Purge.
You have to, anytime you cold turkey anything, there has to be something else to replace that void. And for me, I am a dreamer. I'll go and create dream boards and go look at houses. And I was on Redfin the other day looking at $50 million houses. And it was so funny because I'm like, I would change those floors. And it's like,
I like that.
can't
Yeah.
even afford the
Making it
$50
real.
million house, but I'm sitting
Making
there
it
like,
real.
man, they should have did that different. But again, falling in love with the process, and a part of the process of winning and success, or finding success and winning, because I find those to be two different things, is finding small wins in what it is that you're doing, and then finding ways to make the process fun. Right?
Like that, yeah.
Because like you're in this, as an entrepreneur, you're in this dark and lonely place in your creation mode. And when you're creating, it's like being Steve Jobs in the basement, or Amazon, Jeff Bezos in the basement, where it's one or two people maybe, right? And it's just you and your thoughts and a couple people to bounce some ideas off of, right? And so you have to find ways to make it fun. And so for me, I find ways to make it fun, right? And Yeah, yeah, and I think another thing too, man. Like I do a very good job at lying to myself, and I think that you know you look at the word believe, and it's really to be in a lie. And I believe that that is how you create, is to intensely, because I believe that our subconscious does not know the difference between reality and fiction. This is why you can watch a movie and you get scared, and even though
Yeah.
you know it's
Okay.
fake, but you're still scared
Yeah.
because you're like, right?
Even start doing karate after you watch Bruce Lee and, and
Man,
Jackie Chan
right?
on the
Or
screen.
you
Yeah.
listen to a song, and a song can take you into whatever emotion it wants to take you into.
Right.
So your mind works the same way. And so you can create, I believe that feeling good is a strategy. And I think a part of that strategy is doing the things to make you feel how you feel like you need to feel to get the job done. And I'm just really good at creating a story in my mind about who I need to be to get the job done, what the environment is going to look like while I'm getting the job done, what the environment is going to look like after the job is done, the people that are that are in my life in that season to help me carry that vision. I'm seeing them. I know what they look like. I know what they talk like. I know their background. I know what the office space is going to look like. I see it.
So you more than visualize, you immerse yourself in that.
I am it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's not just a lackadaisical, like, oh yeah, I believe. Like, no, my level, I have a sickening level of belief. And I think that is what separates high achievers from just normal people. Is not that they're more talented or even more creative. It's that whatever thought that they think of, when they believe in it, they immerse themselves in that belief, and it becomes who they are, so much so that
They're delusional.
you think that then we call them crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah.
you're like, when you look at these billionaires or multi millionaires, and then you're in the audience, so you get the privilege of just judging them, and then you look at them, you're like, man, he's crazy for that. She's crazy for how she handled that. Right? But it's like, no.
Yeah.
No, just sit back and enjoy the show, because the creatives of this world are the ones that have to be looked at as crazy, because crazy is really just doing something that's not what normal that's not normal,
Yeah.
right? Otherwise, if we're all doing the same thing, like if you're doing something crazy, but then the whole world starts doing what you're doing is no longer crazy.
That overactive imagination.
Right? So now it's like, in that time until the ark is built and it starts raining, right? People are gonna think that you're crazy, and it's okay. It's okay, but you need to continue to be in that lie with yourself until what you believe is manifested.
Right. And a lot of people get so distracted
Yeah.
that they lose that creativity
Yeah.
because they so focused on the outside things and things that that don't matter in a way.
Yeah.
Like, so that alone time that you get in with yourself, that isolation is like the next step to your elevation in a way, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
100%.
So being in that, you're in that isolation period, you get to create, you get to manifest, you get to get rid of all the toxic people.
Yeah.
How do you regenerate yourself and refuel yourself? Like, because like you said, like you start reading books, you put yourself around things that are positive and create that positive environment for yourself. But how did you know to do that in the first place? Like, how did you know to get that's what worked?
I'm gonna take a line from my girl Lauren Hill.
Okay.
She says, "You know the truth by the way it feels," and I knew that that's what I should have been doing, because how I felt while I was doing it.
Right.
Right? Could have been wrong, but that is the. I don't think any successful person could point to, like, maybe why they felt like why they had the audacity to believe that they can be successful. Right. I don't know where that part comes from.
Yeah.
But, after it's put in you by God, then you act on that. and that you can control. You can't control, like, this is why you have different types of people. This is why you may want a Bentley, and I'm like, I'll never drive a Bentley. I want a Rolls Royce. And then she may be like, I'm okay with a hybrid, right? God, when the seed is planted, you pay attention to what that seed is, right? And this is why it's so important that you don't allow blind people to proofread your vision. Because when you do that, you're giving them, you're wanting them to see the vision that God gave to you, and they're not going to see it because everyone is different, right? Everybody is looking at things through different lenses. So this is why when you have a thought and you know that this is what you're supposed to be doing because you feel it and you believe it with every fiber in your body, why are you looking to the left or to the right for validation?
Yeah, it's a lack of confidence. A lot of people don't have the confidence to believe in themselves, and they doubt themselves.
Yeah.
And when they do have those feelings, they don't trust it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the question I wanted to get on and point on is that how did you build up that confidence within yourself?
Okay, that makes
we
sense.
all have imagination. We all believe that our I ams and affirmations, but to have the actual confidence to
Winning. Winning.
Okay, yeah.
When you win, it creates confidence. Because until you win, you're just on a whim.
Right.
Until you win, you don't even know if what you're doing is working. You're just trying and trying and trying. But when you get that first win, when I was going door to door selling alarm systems, it was just a belief. Like maybe 10 doors, 20 doors, 30 doors. But when I sold that first alarm system, that is the confidence I needed, because if I did it once, I can do it again. So I think sometimes we get in this analysis paralysis. We spend a lot of time getting ready to get ready. I'm about to. 2024 is my year. And we never take off, right? And I think that the main thing, once God has given you that vision, et cetera, the main thing is that you go out there and you do the thing. Because even if you fail, you've learned. Right? And as long as you don't avoid the lesson, you won't have to take that test again, right? There's going to be tests. Everywhere you go, you take you with you. So no matter where you go, you can't just walk around avoiding the challenges because it's tough, because it's going to be tough anywhere you go. So for me, if it's something that I'm doing, I'm just going to face that thing head on and learn whatever that lesson is, so I can unlock that next level and then learn the next thing.
So winning is a habit.
Winning is inevitable if you believe and you work and you show up and you pay the price. At the counter of success, you have to pay full retail. There's no shortcuts to it, right? And when people, as entrepreneurs, when you really start to understand that there are truly no real shortcuts, right? You can have a small win, you could do some little finessing, but you're not really winning, because eventually it's going to come full circle. So if you skip the process here and then it pays out, only to find out 2 years later, you should have actually learned that lesson, because now you're making millions of dollars, and now you just lost $6 million. You done lost your entire network off of a lesson you should have learned in your first stage, but you thought you won because you financially made a couple of dollars off of finessing.
Right.
But that lesson was the one thing that was going to keep you from losing everything. You see what I'm saying?
What's one of the lessons that you learned? Like,
one.
give me three. Give me three lessons that you learned that changed your life completely.
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that that's the biggest thing. The people that have chosen to align with your vision, they already know that you're smarter than them. They already know that you probably are going to take it further than them. They know that you are the chosen one. Why else would they follow you? So the next thing is that you show them that you care, right? I think that was, but I didn't really have to learn that lesson too much though. Like that was like this thing that I think, I think God just gave me that it's messed with me emotionally over the years, because I'm just naturally that compassionate person. to where if I do have a savage moment, I had to try really hard for that moment. It's not really like a natural thing for me, right? But I think another thing, another lesson would probably be, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So get in the habit of chasing the things and learning the things that you don't know. I call it failing fast. Right. Get it over with. Get scraped up. Bloody your knees. And now you can move forward from there. And I think we try to hopscotch around learning the thing. Right. Maybe I can just do it this way. Let me just hire my weakness.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm just hire your weakness.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, nobody want to get their hands dirty.
And then maybe lastly, my third thing would probably just be work works, man. Work works. I mean, that's one of the things that we can go back 100 years from today, right? We can go 100 years forward, 100 years backwards. Work is going to always work, right? Our ancestors were working, right? People that built America were working. Like work, when you show up and you do the thing, you win. And I think it's gotten a little bit, I wouldn't even say easier, but it's, there's more tools in the tool belt now because we have social media, faster ways to connect.
Right.
There's more people willing to invest in your business financially, right? You can hire people. And so it's a little bit different now, but than, maybe 80, 100 years ago. But yeah, I mean, I think those three things would be like kind of those lessons that have stuck with me.
Okay. So my last question before we head out of here, if you had $100 to your name, how would you invest it?
I wouldn't. If I had $100 to my name,
If you had $100 to your name,
I'm not investing that. No. But if I had 100,000 to my name,
what you gonna do?
10,000 to my name. Credit. I'm investing in my credit. I'm gonna make sure that my financial report card looks great. Because if people can't trust you, if people don't know you, then they don't trust you. And the world has not been privy to knowing you your whole life. So they gauge who you are by your financial report card or your credit worthiness. And I think that would be the first thing. I would clean that up. And then from there, I would get into the right environment. Let me find out who is winning that will allow me in their circle. Even if I got to carry your bags, you need me to wash your car, you need me to do something at your events. Ain't no ego in trying to better yourself. Right. I think that in our culture it's like this big ego thing, and it's like I've never been that person. Man, if you're winning, how can I take you out to eat? What we talking about? What you need? Yeah, and I think that, especially black men, I think that we have like this macho-ness about us. And I think it's because it comes from a lot of, trauma and things that we've had to deal with from past generations. But I think when you look at even an artist that has a crossover, or an actress or a business person, the people that have a real crossover, where you look at them like, man, how they got them type of people following them? Right. How they know them type of people? Yeah, the level of vulnerability, the willingness to evolve and be okay with saying, I don't know, man. Just help me, right? That's tough for some people. And I think that I would spend that money to get into good graces with somebody that's on their stuff. And yeah, man. Because here's the thing, a person that's really winning in life, what can you really give them? Even if you give them money, they're not taking you on because of the money, unless they're not really winning, then they are. And then you're fucked anyway, right? But a person that's really on their stuff, but a person that's really where you want to be, they may take the money because they want you to be invested. Right. They don't need the money. But, their win is going to come from you winning. So they have to believe in you. They're not just going to take your money if they don't believe in you. Because if you're like, yo, I want you to mentor me, but I don't really believe in you, even if I want your 10,000, I'm not going to, there's no win for me.
Exactly.
Right? The win for me is like, oh, no, Ace is about to go out there and he's gonna do exactly what I'm telling him to do, and he's gonna win. Oh, that's my trophy.
I like that.
That's my trophy, right? And so, that's like, asking Jay-Z, how much you gonna charge me to consult? What? Like, I just gotta like you. I'm not like, I was watching an interview with Jay-Z, was like, I don't charge for features. And I'm like, well, charge for features. Then I thought about it.
You don't need to.
Like, why am I charging you for a feature? Either I like you or I don't. It's powerful, man. So that's what I would do.
Creating magic.
Yeah.
Awesome. You can plug anything that you got going on, or what's your social media? So
Daryl Drake on all platforms. And if you need your credit fixed, repairforfree.io. It's a completely free software that we put together to help you get your credit together. We've helped thousands of people since 2014 repair their credit. And really get them ready to really be entrepreneurs. And so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But there's that, and that's it, man. I'm in the student season.
I love it.
You would have caught me 2 years ago, I would have had a lot to sell. Click the link in my bio. Hey. Nah, man, we grinding, and so stay close, because a lot of times you see a person once they arrive at a place, right? Most of my followers came after I made it. Right? So it's a blessing to be able to see a person in their process. So follow me, because you get to see what it looks like. Again, so there's people that got to see back home. They got to see what it looked like from 2007 up until now. So I hope they enjoyed that movie, right? And now you get to see it again. And I think that in seeing it, it's not for me. I don't care if you see it, but it's for you. It's like watching a movie. It's like, you ever listen to an artist that inspires you because they took you with them through what they're saying? That's what I love. That's what I love most about Jay-Z, right? Is that he's going to take you through what he's talking about. And I think, we are too that, and we are that too in a way, because as founders, we are creating something, and if we allow people to follow along through social media, we're teaching them without having to teach them. You don't got to pay me to consult. It's like when Jay-Z said, I'm giving you $1 million worth of game for $9.99. You go buy the album. Nice. Same thing, right? Follow me, and then you get to see what I'm doing in real time and be inspired.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you coming in hopping on with me, man.
Yeah,
it's all love. Good game and drop gems. This Billionaire Mafia podcast, what we all about, just inspiring people, go-getters, people that want to grow and level up their life and become entrepreneurs, or you at your peak of your entrepreneurship where you just need that motivation and that inspiration to keep on going and to keep on grinding. So there'll be more people to hop on that's going to inspire. I'm going to have my guy Drake back. We're going to get it in again. And
we got to do a follow-up, man.
Yeah, we got to do a follow-up. We got to keep this thing rolling, man. So tap in with us at Billionaire Mafia. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate it.
Peace.
Know he a genius, he just can't claim it, cause they left him no platforms to explain it. He frustrated, so he get faded, but deep down inside he know you can't fake it.